Bro, did you know there's literally a painting of a random kid just sitting there with a pipe looking all awkward that sold for over $100 million? Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Let me tell you, it was painted by this dude named Pablo Picasso. You know, the bald guy your art teacher keeps talking about? But back then, he wasn't bald yet. My guy was Tufour, broke in Paris, living off bread and cheap wine, trying to find himself, and probably trying to get a girlfriend, let's be real. So one day, Picasso sees this local kid around his studio, gives him a pipe to hold, and says, "Yo, just sit there." The kid's like, "All right." Sits there with this confused teenage face, probably thinking, "Why is this weird man painting me?" And boom! Picasso paints him, throws some warm colors around him, adds a flower crown because, you know, aesthetic, and keeps the vibe soft and moody. The painting looks simple, but somehow it hits you with that young but tired energy, like finals week but in 1905. Fast forward almost 100 years later, someone drops $104 million on this painting at an auction, making it the most expensive painting ever sold at that time. Imagine that. A broke 24-year-old Picasso in Paris, just trying to pay rent, ends up creating a painting that would later sell for enough money to buy like 500 Ferraris. And that's how a random kid with a pipe became a legend. And Picasso, well, he became Picasso. So why the heck is this painting so freaking expensive? I mean, it's just a kid with a pipe, right? No dragons, no explosions, not even a cute cat. But here's the deal. This painting, Boy with a Pipe, was made during Picasso's Rose period. It was a rare time when Picasso stopped painting super depressing blue stuff and started using warm colors, showing a softer, more human vibe. Art collectors eat that stuff up like it's the last donut in the office. And let's be honest, anything Picasso touches turns into a gold mine. It's like when Supreme drops a brick with their logo on it and people pay hundreds for it. Picasso is the OG Supreme. Now, let me hit you with some funny conspiracy theories on why it's hot. Some say the painting is haunted because the kid's eyes follow you around the room and billionaires buy it to flex that they can sleep with a haunted painting in their living room. Others say it's a secret Illuminati symbol because the pipe and the flower crown are some hidden code only rich people understand. Or maybe it's just because rich art collectors like to one-up each other, and Picasso is the ultimate flex piece for your mansion. But yo, you know what's actually crazy? Picasso was broke when he painted this. Like legit broke. He was living in a tiny, cold apartment in Paris, sometimes too poor to buy paint, sometimes having to choose between food or canvas. Imagine being so poor that you're trading sketches for dinner, yet 100 years later, your painting sells for over $100 million, while you once couldn't even afford a baguette. That's why it hits different, bro. It's not just art for art's sake. It's the story of a young artist hustling in Paris, putting everything into his work, with no clue he'd become the most famous artist in the world. And that's the real flex. You know what's even crazier about Boy with a Pipe? When it sold for $104 million in 2004, it literally broke the art world. At that time, it was the most expensive painting ever sold at auction. That sale was like Picasso dropping the mic from the grave, reminding everyone that he's him. No other artist could top that flex, and it cemented Picasso's position as the king of the art market. Like, think about it. All those billionaires, with all their jets and islands, were battling each other to own a painting of a kid with a pipe painted by a broke 24-year-old. That's power. Picasso's name alone can skyrocket the price of a canvas, and this painting proved that his art isn't just pretty colors, it's a cultural currency. Owning a Picasso is like owning a piece of immortality. You can't buy your way into history, but if you buy a Picasso, you're renting a piece of it. But here's the thing, this painting isn't just expensive for the hype. There's a timeless human beauty in Boy with a Pipe that you can feel if you slow down and actually look at it. The kid's face isn't smiling, but it's not sad either. It's that tired, restless look you get when you're 16 and trying to act older than you are. Smoking a pipe, wanting to grow up, but also lost in your own thoughts. Picasso captured that in-between moment, between childhood and adulthood, between innocence and the weight of the world, and froze it forever in warm, rosy colors. That's what makes it timeless. It's simple but deep. It's quiet but powerful. And even if you see it 50 years from now, it will still speak to you because it's about being human. It's about youth, dreams, and that raw, honest moment before the world changes you. Picasso didn't need to add gold or chaos to this piece. The beauty is in how soft, subtle, and real it feels. That's why Boy with a Pipe isn't just expensive art. It's a painting that quietly reminds you of the beauty of a moment that passes too fast. If you've ever felt stuck, tired, or lost while trying to chase your dreams, remember, Picasso painted this masterpiece when he was broke, alone, and just trying to figure life out. And that moment turned into something the world would never forget. If you found this inspiring, drop a like, share it with your friend who needs motivation, and follow for more stories that prove your dreams are worth chasing, even when it's hard. All right, let's talk about why Boy with a Pipe keeps people hooked, even after 100 years. See, a lot of art ages badly. Some trends just don't hit the same after a while. But this painting, it's timeless pull. People love it because it captures fragile youth. That moment in life when you're not a child anymore, but you're not really an adult either. It's like when you're teen, you think you're grown, but you're still low-key scared of the dark and have no idea what you're doing with your life. And that's the vibe this painting gives. A soft warmth in the colors, a gentle sadness in the kid's eyes, the flowers in the crown reminding you of innocence, but the pipe showing the desire to grow up. It's like looking back at your old photos from when you were young and realizing how fast it all went by, and you miss it, even if you didn't realize it was special at the time. That's why people can't stop staring at this painting. It makes them feel something real. Now here's something a lot of people don't know. Boy with a Pipe is a snapshot of Picasso's art before he went full Picasso mode. Like before the weird faces, the eyes looking in different directions, and everything turning into funky shapes. At this point, Picasso was still painting in a realistic style. You can see the human form, the softness, the careful attention to light and shadow. It's the old-school Picasso before he jumped into Cubism, where he'd break apart faces and bodies to find deeper meaning in chaos. This painting is like the last calm before the storm of Picasso's experimental genius. It's a rare look at what he could do when he focused on realism, but you can already sense that hunger to explore something deeper in the way he plays with color and emotion. So when people buy Boy with a Pipe, they're not just buying a painting. They're buying a piece of Picasso's journey, a piece of fragile youth, a warm, nostalgic sadness, and a moment of calm before he broke the art world with Cubism. That's why it's not just expensive art. It's a painting that quietly whispers to you about what it means to be young, lost, and human. If you've ever felt stuck between where you are and where you want to be, this painting is your reminder that even those messy, confusing days can become something beautiful. If you vibed with this story, hit like, share it with someone who loves art, and follow for more stories that turn you into the coolest person at brunch when you randomly drop Picasso facts.